Dolby on loan, didn't we, at some point?
I don't know. I'm not happy. I've just opened some mail that was sat on the desk. It's my council tax bill for this year.
Oh, ours has gone up and all.
Does any of that pay your wages, Sam, or is that just local?
Local.
No, that's purely local. That's North East Links Council that have set that, and they were given a right to increase it by 5% in November. Most councils have done.
It's nearly 200. It's nearly 200 quid a month now.
I know it's ridiculous.
Wankers. They keep everything's going up, isn't it? It's a cruel bloody circle, isn't it? Because we all want more wages because we need more money to pay for the bills. So we get more wages. Some of it occasionally. Bloody hell, what's going on there? And then the bloody bills go up, and then you want more wages because the bills are going up. You never have any more. You never have any more free money, do you?
And then if everybody's wages goes up, that drives up inflation more, and then you get yourself into a vicious. It's why inflation is, as Sunak said in the summer, inflation is the enemy of all, and you've got to get that under control. Otherwise, everything else is erodes your savings. It makes you everything more.
Evening, Stephen. Evening, Jack.
Hello, Shaggers. How are we?
We are live. Do not be Jack.
I'll go back in my cage. It's been a while.
These are the people I think are twats. They know in descending order.
Are we all well?
Yeah, I'm good.
All good, mate. Thank you.
Evening, everybody. I hope you're enjoying our impromptu chat on inflation.
I'm not happy, Jack. The council tax has gone up.
It's my fault. And it's my fault, apparently, like all things.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? I'm actually, I've just got my visa. I'm in Dubai at the minute. Just finished my visa process so I can dodge all tax forever now, Joe. I am in Dubai. But,
you don't look like you're in Dubai. You got to prove it.
He does look a bit. He looks a bit warm.
Here we are. I've just got a salad delivered. 5% VAT. Don't get that under the Tory government, do you?
Don't tell Bruce that. I mean, Sam wishes he would.
There's some Arabic here as well on the mango juice. Oh, yeah.
You got 5% VAT under stuff during the pandemic. We cut that. We cut that to help small businesses.
This is a party political broadcast.
On behalf of the Conservative Party.
Oh dear.
Right. Well, we have to talk.
Should we talk about some football?
No. You gents will be glad to know as well that I did the record with the Sutton guy earlier, so we can all knock off early.
What did he have to say?
They're on the cusp of getting in the playoffs, so they're very happy. I've suggested we all shake hands now and do the sort of Scotland San Marino game, where we just don't turn up and they get the 3 points.
They are. Yeah, I can't believe how well they have done over the last few years. I mean, like the club is still. My first ever kind of job was volunteering, filming their games, and that was in the Ryman South or something. And I just can't really fathom the fact that they're a football league club. I mean, they got to the Johnson's Bank Trophy final last year at Wembley. Only lost with they let a goal in the last second for Rotherham to equalise. And they're on the cusp of the playoffs. And in my head, they are just this tiny, proper non-league club.
And they're going to beat us 3-0 on Tuesday.
they're going to sweat us on Tuesday. It's remarkable.
Right. They've done it right. They've done it right, though, haven't they? I mean, unless I'm mistaken, they've just sort of built a sound club, and they're not like bloody Dale Vince's bloody plaything. You know, they're a proper club, and it is great to see them in the. I see that they're saying that Duncan Ferguson's job's on the line already. I mean, he knew how to get a quick payout, didn't he? I'll go to Fat Basket Case, Forest Green, and you know, I won't be able to polish a turd, but I might get some money if I've signed a contract. Sorry, Sam.
He doesn't strike you as a natural vegan, does he, Duncan Ferguson? It never made sense to me.
That's nothing. They had John Parkin. Can you remember that video came out the day they lost the final? He was knee deep in
Greg's,
Greg's.
wasn't he?
The second his contract ran out because he has to meet Vegan before.
I've nearly ended Josh Gowling's career that afternoon. Yeah, I've got no time for him at all.
Yeah, I hope they go back and end up where they started. Same with Fleetwood; they're the same. They got bankrolled into the league.
Too big for their boots, aren't they?
Crawley going there.
Yeah.
Crawley, they're heading the right way. I hope. Yeah.
Bruce
Let some of the proper league clubs back in. I don't mind people that.
Okay, Bruce, name me 4 clubs that are in really wrong positions. They could be the teams like Fleetwood, or it could be, I don't know, Bradford in League 2. Where would you move 4 clubs? What would be the biggest changes you could make?
4 clubs that are in the wrong position. I'd have Town straight in the Championship.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's understandable.
Where would I have 4 clubs? I'd get rid of Crawley. Get them. Well, they'll probably go on their own, won't they?
And who are they going to be replaced by?
Forest Green. They can go bust. Bring Notts County up. I
Okay,
like
Notts County for Forest Green. Fine.
Yeah, I'm thinking of away games.
There's a closer one if you want.
I would drop. I would kick Man United. I'd kick Man United out of the league.
Okay, fine. So we're going full autocrat.
The Glazers have borrowed too much money, and they go pop like Rangers did, and they've got to start in the conference. And make it the conference south just to be fun. Who else would I get rid of?
Seeing Scuddy sent to Peterborough Sports Junior or wherever that place that bloke.
That's where they got their manager from. That's where they're going.
Exactly. That's why I've heard of them. You got Wickham are in 2 higher division, in my view. Get rid of MK Dons because they're a fake club.
Go on, then,
MK Dons. Yeah, brilliant call.
Okay, who would you take them out for? So are you just liquidating them? They're done.
They're just gone. The stadium blew over in the wind and no one noticed.
We can have it.
Why do replace? Who's coming back, Sam?
Why don't we do it the old fashioned? We bring back Southend, Chesterfield, and then bring back re-election. So we keep the kind of the close shot.
He always goes political, doesn't he? Can't keep it. You don't want elections, Sam. You know that. You've seen how the polling's going.
No, but I love that. I love that. Imagine if Scunny had finished like bottom of the league last year, and it would have been like someone like Peterborough Sports at the top of the conference, and they got voted in because Scunny didn't get any votes. That'd be good.
That's because you're in charge of the EFL, Bruce, and you're telling everyone not to.
If we're going to get rid of 4, I'd get rid and then bring back Chesterfield, Notts County, Southend, and Oldham. Wrexham's in Wales, so they don't qualify.
No, I don't mind Wrexham. That's churlish, I think.
York City.
No, the longer they stay down there, the better.
Okay.
York City's fair enough to come back in the league.
Boston.
Morecambe.
I'll swap Boston for Morecambe tomorrow. Accrington are fine. Accrington are founder members of the first of the football league. They're allowed to stay.
Stevenage.
They're
get
gone.
Rid of them bastards.
I'm going to put them both on a bus with Bromley, and they're going to get driven off the cliff at Dover. It's going to be like an EastEnders special. Where are we going, boss?
Janine looking for Barry.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's on that bus?
There's another one at the moment. There was one with Danny Dyer or something, and he went in the sea, and he can't swim, and he had Nigel Farage trying to kick him back out of off the beach.
Yeah. Who butchered that dinghy?
Yeah. BB says, bring York back, nice away day. I mean, if we're just going on away days, then do you want to broaden it? Do we want I don't know, do you want to bring a Dublin club in, Belfast club? Let's get Linfield in. We can go for a weekend in Belfast.
Scarborough Athletic.
Scarborough's a decent away day.
Yes. No, I actually, if anyone listens to this, that not that many people
Nobody
listen,
does.
not anyone in a position of power, but we could, if we can't afford to go abroad, Jack. I think you're right. A little pre-season, sort of 3 or 4 days away, that took in a friendly at York and a friendly at Scarborough would be quality, wouldn't it?
Bridlington
Town
on the 3rd day. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, don't Whitby have like a goth team? They play a goth final. Whitby. There you go. Just go up there. Yeah. That'll be all right. Right, should we do the pod? I'm back in a minute.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
They've done it! They've done it! It's Maguire Drew! They've done it again, this team!
What a magnificent piece of football!
Really, really good goal!
You can't let this one go down. Grimsby are heading back to the Football League.
Love it.
Hello, you saucy little minxes. Welcome to the DN35 podcast. We are live on the things on the internet and maybe downloaded as well. Bruce is cracking open the Glenlivet by the looks of it. This is what have you got there, Bruce? That looks like strong stuff. Oh, it's rosé.
It's just a bottle of wine. Jane Boynton's a bad example, and I just fancied a drink.
What's she done?
She just you've seen it on Twitter. They have a bottle of wine every Sunday and listen to the pod. It's probably
Every
the best
day.
way. Probably the best way.
Maybe we should start doing it. I mean, we love docs, but maybe they need to start putting out some wine for us. They have to get an agreement with. I don't think a Grimsby wine is going to be a classic.
I think one day that idea that somebody had would be good, but that for me, but would be good for the whole pod if we recorded the pod from like Weatherspoons and they just sent what they wanted to the table and we just dealt with it. That'd be
That's
good.
That's so many bowls of peas.
Jack likes the idea.
I don't drink, and I'm a vegan, so I'd be no good.
Well, you were laughing at the idea, though. I mean,
Yeah, I like the idea.
Jack sends his 45th bowl of peas to the table for Alex.
I'll take all the green shit. You guys take all the heavy loading.
It'd be like Bruce bloody Bogtrotter from Matilda's trying to finish off the last bit of chocolate cake.
I did that once. I sent my mates a kind of picture of the table number and the spoons I was in. He ordered me 16 glasses of water to the table, which I thought was quite funny, to be fair to him.
I like milk. I used to do that to people and just send them a shit ton of milk.
I felt really guilty.
Milk and peas sounds a really bad combination, doesn't it? That sounds like a toilet trip in the middle of the night, firing pellets out your ass.
That sounds like a council estate bubble tea. That does. Milk and peas.
Strange new breakfast cereal from Kellogg's, milk and peas. Get it in now while stocks last.
John Lewis has found a kindred spirit. He said he thought he was the only non-drinking vegan town fan, but no, it's the svelte Mr. Spring as well.
Good lad. Good lad. We are the future, son.
Josh has just finished your film as well.
No, he hasn't. He's watched 3 Day Billionaire. Don't know what that is.
That's the Wish version.
Is that a sequel?
That was the one that Jack was wanting to make before he got told the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Donner. That's very kind, sir.
Well, we should really ask about it. How's it all been going? 5th on Netflix, last time I saw, but you're on the dodgy box as well, so that shows that you are really hitting the heights.
We are. I think after 2 hours after going live on Netflix, we were on my Fire Stick, so that was good. But
you should really stop uploading it.
Yeah, well, it was the week. It went number 5 the day before Southampton away, so I think that was literally the best week of my life. I was the day before, the day at Southampton. I flew back. I was in Belgrade because it had its Serbian premiere, which was an event in itself, and yeah, it was pretty bonkers. I mean, for a film of that budget to be number 5 on Netflix is a joke. So yeah, I mean, Netflix buying it, we had to kind of keep secret. We tried our best to, so that was mental in itself because you know that loads and loads of people are going to watch your work, and then for it to go top 10 and then top 5 was just like crazy. It's pretty remarkable that a film of that scale can do that.
Do you get
Jack,
anything from
can I
Netflix? Sorry, go on, Bruce.
Can I just pull you back a second? You had a Serbia premiere and you didn't invite any of your pod mates.
Oh, could you imagine
Mate,
that would be messy?
So we could have. This would have. Oh, mate, I'm not happy.
Can you imagine when Jack he's doing the next Marvel or whatever it is? Just he's going to do like one he likes, one that makes loads of cash, then another one he likes. So they're just on the Marvel goes, oh yeah, these are part of the team, and we're just all pissed up in the background throwing Thor's hammer at a wall.
I can just picture.
The Serbian thing was quite, because I was in Austin on a stag do, then flew straight to Serbia, and I was there for 2 nights, and got there at midnight, and then at 10 a.m. I'm sent an itinerary for the day, and basically in an hour I have to be there for a press conference, which I assume is just a mistranslation. It's going to be like a college kid there with a camera asking stupid questions. So I don't think too much about the thing, and I'm jet lagged. Like I do not do jet lag very well. That's my problems. And I get there, and it's like the fucking World Cup final that a manager has to do. It's fucking nuts. There's like 100 people there. There's a translator bloke on my right, and there's a press man on my left, or the other way around, whatever. And it's like massive table with like name cards and shit. And I'm like, fucking hell, I've underestimated this. And it's the first press thing I've ever had to do where it's in another language. Like the questions are all in Serbian. It's going to the translator. It's telling me, and I don't quite think the way that I speak worked for the translator. Like they were like, "Oh, what's Colin Meaney like to work with?" was one of the questions that came through, and I was like, "Oh, it's great. The town got promoted, and he owes me 100 quid." And he was like, "What?" Yeah, it was weird. And then the premiere was in the evening, but then I've got to go. I got invited to. We've got the Luxembourg premiere next Sunday, which is Brighton Day. So I've had to sack that one off. I'm going to Brighton. Yeah, had to politely say
do we
that.
want to find a town fan that doesn't have a ticket that's willing to go to Luxembourg and take your spot?
Get some stilts out and change your accent, and you'll be all right.
Can we send Andy Humberston if he's flogging tickets at stupid prices to?
Oh my God! Don't even. 125 quid he's flogging tickets for. I mean, I hope it's a wind up, but if it's not, that's disgraceful. What a bell end! What a bell end! Are we allowed to say that? We've just done it.
I think it's too late, mate. Too late.
Yeah, too late. I mean, if you
profits become a dirty word. Sell them for what you like. If the market's there, for it.
That's the most Sam response I've heard.
I think you would have been the highlight of the Serbian premiere, Sam. I can just see us like with a pint of the local lager in hand, looking round and seeing you in the corner trying to explain some sort of political thing to some guy that has not got the fucking clue what you want about.
I don't want Sam anywhere near the Serbian border at the moment. It's hot enough as it is without his hot takes going into help with the Kosovo crisis.
Oh yeah, my hot takes, if they're going to be really kind of, diplomatic relations will fall down when I say, oh, Danilo Orsi can't finish. That's really going to finish Anglo-Serbian alliances, isn't it, for years to come?
Well, I don't know if you know, but Kosovans are really big old fans with Danilo Orsi. So I mean, that's a tinderbox waiting to explode. You got to be careful.
Keep me away from it. A couple of drinks, and you never know what will happen.
Do you get anything from Netflix then, Jack? Because number 5 is quite high. Do you not even get an email just say, "Oh, by the way, you guys, you're smashing it"? I assume you don't get like a YouTube little plaque or anything, but
no. So like all of this stuff is handled. Like I've never spoken to Netflix myself in my life. Not like this side of Netflix, if you like. So it all goes through a sales agency and a distributor. So we're a couple of kind of companies away from any of this shit. So yeah, and how it works, they pay you a fee and they license it for like X amount of years. But so you don't, with Netflix, whether one person watches it or 10 million, you don't get any different. But what it does help, and will help massively, is because you sell it territory by territory. So every country you do a different deal with. The fact it's been top 5 means you'll get a lot more money. And then after the Netflix period, it'll do like terrestrial TV here. So you get a lot more money for that because it's been so high on Netflix. And yeah. We've got. I mean, it's coming out in cinemas in Australia, which is a bit mental. There's I saw on IMDb.
I'll do the premiere. Thanks.
Sydney premiere.
Right, imagine. And I'm going out there for 6 weeks on holiday. I'm hoping it crosses over. But I saw they must have done a deal with I don't know whether it is Russia, but I basically saw a version of the poster yesterday on IMDb that looks like Russian writing. Like, it's so weird seeing your film being released in all these weird places, and they take the poster and Jack Spring becomes. I'm not even going to try and do a sort of
Jack off, spring off.
Yeah, something like that.
Jack
off,
brilliant.
they cut their own trailers and stuff as well. So like, and even like my American mates that came out in America 2 weeks ago, and because it's a Grimsby accent, the Americans ain't got a fucking clue what you lot are saying. So they're able to watch it with subtitles. But after subtitles are wrong, I was sat there in Austin watching it on a TV thing, and like no one asked me at any point to kind of clear it. Like there's someone who clearly isn't from Grimsby's done the subtitles, who also can't work out what the fuck they're saying. The trials and tribulations of making movies.
I think, I'm in awe, my friend, in awe. Right, we'll do some proper football, and we'll start with the women's team, because if I don't, I'm terrified I'm going to forget. But they went top of the league today, 3-0 win over Grimsby Trinity, put them top of the pack. Goals from Alicia de Jong, Emily. I assume it's not Alicia de Jong. I've just absolutely messed that up. Emily Blythe and Ellie Watson put them 3-0 to the good against the other GTFC of Lincolnshire. They are now top, and I think only a win next week will confirm their promotion. Only one goes up. They are sadly playing during the Brighton game. So if you can't get to that one, there is one in a couple of weeks afterwards. But riding high. I don't know which league they go back into, but they overtook Gainsbury yesterday. They've got a few games in hand on the rest of them as well. There's only 6 teams in the league, so they all play each other a few times before they go, and they look like they're well on their way. I don't know if any of you guys have had a chance to go watch them. I mean, they play in Brigg, so it's a bit of a trek. I hope the club will be getting them back soon, and I don't know, maybe they can do a parade around London Park with the title.
I don't know if it's changed permanently, mate, but I think they were playing at Oasis today at Wintringham.
Oh, were they? Okay, he said it on.
Go on.
No, he just said it on the like their website, but that probably doesn't get updated.
I think I saw that they were playing at Oasis Wintringham today, but I did look at going down, and then life got in the way. But I'd like to take Maisie down at some point. With her interest, with her playing so much football and stuff, it'd be good for her to go and see.
Simon's just confirmed they play at Oasis now, which is brilliant. So at least it's closer to home. But 3, top of the league title, FA Cup and a league title this season for the club. Not a bad year.
I'm just looking forward to we can go on Jack's private jet to the North American tour when we celebrate promotion to the Premier League in 2 years or 3 years. That'll be
We'll do those get promoted to the Premier League in 2 years.
Orlando on tour. We'll be playing Beckham's mob.
No, it'll be us and Wrexham. That's the problem. It'll be us playing Wrexham again and again and again.
Non-league Wrexham, not non-league Wrexham.
Non-league Wrexham. But massive well done to the women's team. They're really kicking ass, and top of the league, having a laugh.
Up to Marinerettes. Are they called the Marinerettes?
I don't think so.
A missed opportunity in my eyes. That sounds great.
They should play the games at Blundell Park. They don't play that many. 6 games at home. We play enough of them in the tin pot.
Have you seen the state of our pitch?
I mean, another 6 games will not do it any harm. It won't get worse.
They should play. They should commit to playing a certain number of games a season on there.
Yeah, game at the start of the season, game at the end of the season, sorted.
You can even do it if you could sort of manufacture it. You could do it at 12 o'clock on a Saturday before our game or something like that. So
I would love that. I think that'd be brilliant. Do a double header,
and you could say to people that for that game, your season ticket, you can come in early, and it classifies as part of your thing. That would be great.
I would imagine that because of the level, you'd probably be able to wander out of the fan zone with your pint and watch their game.
Oh, Bruce has got the right thought.
I could be wrong
then,
because of
then
our
come
standing,
12
but
o'clock, Steward keep pushing you away
That's it. Yeah. Right. I want you back inside. Yeah. In
with
you
a
go.
broom, just poking you back in. Get back
And
in.
you have to cheat to say this. I'd be a risk to diplomatic relations. Unbelievable.
Evening, Dad. He says with games in hand. Hello, Mr. Green. Hope you're all right. Yeah, I guess we better talk about Rochdale. Or do you want to talk about Newport, Bruce, or do you not want to bother? What was the Newport game like for you?
It's fucking shit.
Fine. Let's do the Rochdale one.
It
How was
wasn't
the
really
Rochdale
much
game,
better,
Bruce?
was it?
Right. The Rochdale game, I arrived 30 minutes late because Maisie had been in the County Cup in Stamford, and
How did she do?
o'clock kick. They lost 4-0. They didn't play as well as they can, but they got to the semi-final, and next year we'll try and go one better. But yeah, I arrived.
It's an omen. Maisie made the semi-final. Does that mean Town are going to make the semi-final of the cup? Then is this an omen?
We've never just been to the quarterfinals, Sam. We've only made it to the semi-finals. If we get to the quarters, we make the semis. So you don't even need to worry about it, mate.
It's all sorted, all done. Man City in the semis.
I was just
Sheffield
thinking.
United.
I was just thinking though about. Can you imagine? You know, just thinking about our Bell End mate flogging tickets expensively. You imagine if we'd have drawn like Man United at home or something, what the ticket situation would have been like? There'd have been people sort of attacked coming out of the ticket office, wouldn't there? It would have been absolutely mental.
Oh, it's all of those ones at school that used to be dickheads to you because you supported Town, all crawling out the woodwork. Oh, I've been Town forever with their Man United shirt under their hoodie.
The amount of kids from my school that are coming, I grew up in Sutton, and honestly, it's kind of since I left school, it's become cool to support a shit team. And yeah, I've got about, I think I've got about 40 people coming with me on Tuesday that are all from Sutton but coming in the Town end. So expect some carnage.
Talking of which, any side of the
I hope they're all season ticket holders, Jack, or else that comment's not going to go down very well.
Have we haven't sold out Sutton, have we? I'll go back to Sam in a sec because Bruce.
Sutton. Sorry, I thought you meant Brighton. Sorry, my apologies.
He's not. Yeah, he's not doing. It's not like Paul Lloyd who'd had that
Jack.
one. Had that spare ticket, gave it to Rob Beckett and got absolute black pelters for it. He's like, look, my man couldn't make it. I had no one else to take.
Oh, that was people get mental about that, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
We've gone off track, but Sutton's a
right.
pain in the arse on a Tuesday now, though. I mean, it's ideal for.
Are the club staying down there?
It's fantastic. It could go straight from work. It's 15 minutes on the train from Waterloo Station. I think it's brilliant having it on a Tuesday night.
It's just like I looked at it again today, and it's like it's about 4 hours in the car if you go all the way around and in off the M25. The train from Newark, into London. It doesn't, like you were helping me out, Sam. It doesn't give you time to get back on the Thames link back to St Pancras to get your connection. You won't get home till bloody till you won't be at Newark till like 2 a.m. or something. It's bloody pain in the ass. I wanted to tick that one off this year.
Massive props to anyone who's doing Sutton on Tuesday, then going back to Grimsby and then coming back down for Brighton. You should all be sectioned.
Sorry, anyway, I was late yesterday. Got there half an hour late. I hadn't missed anything. And like you say, it was. I've moaned on Twitter after the last 2 games about the quality of performances at home and how I don't think it's been entertaining, and I stand by all that. But I have today sort of come round to the acceptance that, going back to what Hursty said on, I think it was last Tuesday, they're trying, and there is no lack of effort. There's a distinct lack of creativity and a distinct lack of attacking ability or consistent attacking ability, with the exception of McAtee's goal on Tuesday and George Lloyd's nice finish yesterday. But I think I've just got to accept that it's going to be how it is now until the end of the season, and then we've got a big summer of rebuilding the forward line and I include the midfield in that for what we need. But yeah, I didn't miss a lot for half an hour. It was a game that had a moment of great play a good finish by Lloyd, and that was about it really.
They look exhausted, and I mean, it doesn't excuse the performances, but it does put it into context, at least in terms of what they're getting into and what they've got. But they do look knackered, and it's 36 games. 11 games in 36 days is I think what Ben Davis said this week. And I pulled up that stat, obviously, that Grimsby have played 45 games so far this season. It'll be 47 by the end of the week. Liverpool have played 39. And the amount of moaning I've heard from Jurgen Klopp this year about the fixture congestion, and people are getting a bit arsey with it. I assume they're Premier League fans, but the Grimsby Town don't have the same strength in depth that Liverpool do. They've got 45-man team, and then an under-21s academy, and then another academy, and then. We even Corey is a member of the youth team, effectively, isn't he? If I remember rightly, or has he been upgraded or whatever? But he's
been around a bit now, Evan Curry. He played quite a lot at the back of the relegation season, so he's been around 2 or 3 years now. But a lot of the players haven't had a break of any. Basically, since the start of last season, the players haven't had a break. And there's been players like Holohan, Mishi, Waterfall, Crocombe, even Danny Amos in last January, Ryan Taylor, John McAtee, Harry Clifton. I mean, even though these players, and if they've not, the only rest they've got has been rehab from injury, and that's not rest, is it? So, and that's almost the spine of our side, has basically had no rest since the start of last season. So, you say you can't excuse it. I think it can provide some, it can alleviate some of the blame to some extent. I agree. If this is the situation, you've been saying, if this was the situation next season, it'd be a different story. But it isn't, and given the circumstances, I think it's only natural. I also think
May I say there's a little bit of difference between I can't excuse it to it's not an excuse. I think there's a little difference there.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. A sentiment, a semantics one. What's the semantic one? Maybe. But there's also, I think, a way that
words are important, Sam. You should know that in your line of business. Words are important. You can get kicked off match of the day for that stuff.
What Bruce was saying about what Hurstey said about the lads are trying, and I think that actually laid bare a frustration in him, that he's just aware that the players aren't, sort in his view, not enough of them are good enough to be at the standard that he wants them to be to compete where he wants them to be, i.e. at the sharp end of League Two. That's my view, and therefore he's having to set up in a certain way, which is even more conservative than he reckons to kind of mitigate the limitations he thinks we've got, and that leads to the accusations of negative football at home. And it's fair to say, at home we've been appalling in terms of what we've produced. We had a few good games. Bradford was quite entertaining. Orient was quite entertaining. We played quite well against Northampton, but our performances against sort of the teams that aren't in the top 5 or 6 has been awful. I mean, I've watched almost all the home games. I've missed a couple of them. I've not been to all of them, but I've watched most of them on iFollow. And I can't remember, apart from those 3, all of which I was at, I can't remember a single, even when we beat Crawley 3-0, it's not like we played them off the park. We played poorly. It's just they were really, really poor. So there's something fundamental now to the way we set up, or the quality of player that we have, that makes it hard work watching us at home. I say it's acceptable now. It will be a different story if this is the case in 12 months' time. And I keep saying that because all of the excuses about burnout, fatigue, May's just appeared behind you, Bruce. Will have gone.
I mean, yeah.
No, I agree.
Got quite. Sorry.
No, I agree, Sam. I think I stand by what I said, that I think Hurstey's earned. And it sounds stupid to be talking about, but I'm not talking about it as
it sounds ludicrous, doesn't it?
But I think he's got the summer. He's going to have an increased budget because of the Jason's already said we're going to put the earnings from this cup run into the budget. I think that will put a little bit more pressure on him. and we need to see improvement, a consistent improvement. I just hope that the season ticket holders, the extra, what is it, nearly 3,000, isn't it? We nearly doubled the season tickets, didn't we? I just hope that they most of them come back, because they haven't been entertained at home. It has been turgid. The teams that you've discussed are the good teams. They're the teams that come onto you. We're better when we're better set up as a counter-attacking team. If we come up against teams that are negative, not particularly attacking, have sort of 7 or 8 men behind the ball all the time, then that's where we haven't got the ability at the moment, or we haven't got the energy, or it may be. But having said that, it's been like it all season, to break them down. And like I say, we need better attacking midfield options, and we need a big overhaul up front.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack, you haven't got long, so what do you have to say? Because you're Sutton born and bred.
Yes.
They're coming up. What can we expect, and where do we park?
This fixture I've wanted for my life. I always assumed it might only ever happen in the FA Cup. And then for them to overtake us going up to League Two when we went down, that was hard. But yeah, it's quite. I mean, my nan lives 100 yards from the ground. I grew up probably half a mile away.
Does she have any parking spaces?
So she does actually. Here's a little parking tip, and I'm only going to tell you lot.
And the 120 people watching,
because I need a space as well. So leave me one. Go down. What's the road called?
I thought you were going to say your nan was on Just Park then.
No, there's a road. One sec. There's a Robin Hood pub. What's that fucking? I'm in Dubai, so it's coming up with all sorts of fucking weird shit. One sec. Robin Hood Sutton. Robin Hood Lane. Yeah, I should have worked it out. Go on Robin Hood Lane. It's the side of the ground that the away end is at. And after 6 o'clock, it's all like you can just park there for free. There's a shit ton of it's all like kind of road parking, but it's like quite a long road with a load of spaces. So I suggest you do that.
There you go.
There we are. Jack's tip of the day. There you go.
All sorted. Stop sharing. Don't want to see.
Don't leave dog muck outside my nan's house, otherwise I'll come for you.
Well, we just want to give her the Blundell Park experience.
The dog's going to be fucking desperate after it's done a 4-hour car journey, though. Jack, not be fair.
Go in the neighbour's bush. Honestly, they're fucking bastards.
Which just put the number at the bottom. We'll put the number of the house at the bottom of the screen. Yeah. Well, you must be looking forward to it. First time we've ever played there. What's it like? Yeah. Is it very non-league?
Yeah, proper. I mean, the last time I went, so they have when they're in non-league, they had a plastic pitch. But I had to dig that up, and then I think for them going up to the Football League, they had to do quite a lot of ground stuff. I've not actually gone since they've been in the Football League, but it used to basically, many years ago, have a running track around it, and then where the running track is, they put these kind of semicircle terraces, and that was the kind of away end. There wasn't any cover or anything, but I think now behind the goal, the one that will be in, there is cover. But yeah, it's proper like non-league ground.
It's nice to have this non-league experience again. This idea that we go to some nondescript part of London that all looks the same. We lose 2-0 and leave.
Just sandwiched between Southampton and Brighton. It's just a quick reality check, isn't it? Keeping our feet on the ground.
Do we know if the club are going back up? Or are they just staying down here from Tuesday? It makes sense, wouldn't it? Are they going?
Someone put in the comments that they heard they were going back on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think Davies said it in his post-match.
It's a bit of an old trek, isn't it?
I think if it was a Saturday, they might have stayed down.
Yeah, that's true.
Sunday game, isn't it?
Well, some questions coming in and some lots of. Yeah, go ahead, Brute. Sorry, I'll look through them and see which ones are worth asking.
They've blown the budget, staying over to go up to Carlisle, haven't they? Staying another night in Southampton. But
they needed to. They needed to sort the rooms out afterwards, I think. Simon says there's no break after this season as the cup final is June 3rd, and also qualifying starts for the Europa League on the 21st of July. So we have got a very short pre-season coming up.
Maybe even worse than last season. That's going to be.
I know. And it'll be somewhere like Turkmenistan or something.
Oh, I can't wait to ask for that time off work to go to that game. That's going to be fantastic, that is.
It is mental, right, that we are literally one game away from the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. Like,
yeah,
I know it's a hard game, you know, but we beat us, beat Southampton, all right, who are a lot shitter than Brighton, but it's not like totally implausible that it might happen again.
No.
Like,
how many would we take? How many would we take to an FA Cup semi-final?
50,000.
50,000.
Well, I was looking yesterday, Friday, that Liverpool got 33,000 tickets for their semi-final last season. So presumably we'd be allotted similar, and Sheffield United or whoever we're playing would get 33,000 as well. But we're not going to get through, guys. We're just not. They're not. They're away. They're loads better.
I'm not having Sam talking about this and destroying You can't come in here being a Nelly negative, talking about the reality. You can't be bringing the reality of this. Let us dream for a bit. What is this? And you're taking your school. They talk about milk snatcher stuff. This is not good. What is this?
I feel like this is like an Xbox party, and Alex is bumping people out.
I am the voice of reason and wisdom, and
a world of grey.
It is mental. It is mental that the first time that we went to Wembley, we took over 30,000.
Yeah,
I think we could
sell
sell
33.
The largest number of Town fans that have gone anywhere ever. Yeah, that's over 30,000, and then I think it dropped to about 20,000 for the second Northampton game. And have we ever been up to that many again? Have we ever taken 20 again?
How many did we take to the MK? How many did we take to the
2008, 25,000.
So that was the first game at the new Wembley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we were taking sort of 15, 16,000 against Bristol Rovers and Forest Green.
I think you'd take 20,000 to the semi-final.
I think we could say.
Surely.
We take loads more than them. You get all the kind of few of my mates said they'd crawl out of the woodwork to come and watch Grimsby Town. Even got no connection to the place at all. They just know me, and therefore that's their connection to Grimsby, and therefore they want to come to an FA Cup semi-final. When I told them it was 70 quid a ticket, I think they might rethink that one.
It's an interesting one though, where it'd be interesting how the club would deal with it, because you could potentially just open it up and then everyone can go with mates and you don't have to do season tickets first, trust members first and everything. You can just open it up. But then you kind of, if you're playing like Man United, you then run the risk of having 15,000 Manchester United fans. I know that's what Fulham did. So Fulham, when they played their game against Villa in the Championship playoff final, they opened it up to everybody and went, look, just go for it. And it worked all right.
What have I said tonight? I'm looking at the comments here. I'm getting absolute pelters. Look, I know.
Does Sam have mates? I find that hard to believe. Boo Barrick. Stephen McDay says kick him off for that. Jack, this one feels personal to Sam as well. Effetti hasn't exactly been Beckenbauer. That feels more of a personal dig.
Can we not have the Michi Effetti debate, please? You think what you think, I think what I think. We're never going to penetrate one another's thought processes. Let's just leave it there.
There's no penetrating anyone's thoughts on this podcast. This is
we've had talk of a Tinder box tonight, and now we're on about penetration. Can we just keep this to football?
Chat. I'm gonna help that cause because I have to go. I need to get.
He's off to his Tinder box.
Going to clean my Tinder box out before getting on the flight back to Sutton United.
Safe journey. See you on Tuesday.
Take care, mate.
Amigos.
Yeah, nice to see you, mate. See you later, Jack.
Little. Got a up the Mariners tattoo the other day.
Hang on, I've got to put this on solo.
Look at that.
There you go.
ETM, baby. Yeah. Cool as fuck, aren't I? Cool as fuck.
Very good. Very good.
Icon. Right.
Better than I did. I wussed out. See you later.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye. I think we could sell it out 33,000. I reckon, given the momentum around the town, I don't think it's ludicrous to suggest we take everybody.
Oh, everyone will crawl out the woodwork for that. Everyone's mother,
It doesn't
brother,
have to.
granny.
What is with your
granny.
wording today? They're not crawling out the woodwork. They're just coming to support their town. You should be proud of that.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. That's the point. It'd be brilliant.
Sam's there at Wembley ticket gate office going, and how many games have you been to this year? Eh? Give that back in, Nan.
He won't be letting Mike in, would he?
No, get him out, kicking him out.
No, Mike could be banned. Mike could be completely banned. You have to go to games outside the M25 to qualify for a ticket.
He went to Luton.
Streaming up. Yeah,
he went to Luton. He was on the train and he didn't realise he was outside the M25, but he did go to Luton.
Yeah, he did.
He's off the crook. You're not going to bring the other one on Tuesday night, are you, Alex?
Yeah, if you don't bring me my flag back, I'm bringing the keeper shape one. It's not my fault.
I'm bringing some petrol and a lighter. Then that's the only.
Clip that.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Clip that. He's getting his pass revoked on Monday morning, isn't he?
That's one less at the
Parliamentary staffer declares violence on working class football fans. Won't even make a dent. I'm quite surprised you're allowed on here, Sam. Still, I thought there'd be stricter guidelines after this weekend. Anyway,
stop.
I'll tell you what. If Sam gets banned from the podcast, I won't be going out in solidarity with him.
Could you imagine? Sam's sort of third in line for match of the day at the moment. It's just someone looking around. It goes Nadine Dorris, that other one from Mansfield who looks like he drools a lot.
Ben Bradley.
Yeah. Do you know what? It wasn't Ben Bradley I'm thinking of. It's the other one. I can't remember.
Mansfield.
Yeah, but Ben Bradley, the other one, I think he's Stoke or something. Or he's the
one
yeah, that's him. Them two are the same to me. There's no difference. It's him and then it's Sam, because Sam's the only one that knows about football. Him and John Redwood, obviously, because he watched Match of the Day last night too. Yeah, it'll be interesting, really. I'm looking forward to. Are you looking forward to the FA Cup quarterfinal, Bruce? Because I'm just nervous now. Like, I know there's nothing to play for. Like, we've got nothing to lose, but it's like I don't want to go 1-0 up and then they go 2-1 up with 10 minutes to go. It'd be a bit heartbreaking.
Apparently, we need to be there. You need to be there early because the transport's a nightmare getting to the ground. They recommend 2 hours before kickoff, and then you drink at the ground. But they're going to bloody recommend that, aren't they? Our lot. How many? You know what town fans are like? They like the beer. How many of our fans are going to be thinking about going to the game at bloody 12 o'clock? They're going to still be in the middle of Brighton in somebody club or something, aren't they? They're not going to be thinking about going to the train station to get down to the ground. But anyway,
there's going to be 30,000, 5,000 town fans outside the Withdean waiting to get in.
Yeah, I saw Alan Poughton score here once.
Yeah. It was a good goal, that.
But yeah, I am a bit nervous of a heavy defeat.
I think we'll get annihilated next week.
If it goes to form, I would accept. I'm not saying that the impossible can't happen before I disappear from view. If it goes to form and we were 3-0 down after a half, I'd be quite happy for them to bring on a few subs and we lose 3-0. I just don't want to be embarrassed. I said it before.
Don't Chelsea it.
I don't want to Chelsea because that was embarrassing. Yeah. The only thing worse I can think of was it Watford got spanked by Man City in the cup final. That's
6-0. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can relate to that. You don't want to lose a big game like that by a ridiculous margin because that's not fun and it's just embarrassing for your club. But there's nothing to say that with VAR, our friend VAR, I hope Jason puts his 10 grand in the meter again because
it's 10 grand and something for yourself.
yeah, and a packet of plenty some fish for you. But who's to say that one of their players doesn't get a bit carried away and dive in after 10 minutes and get a straight red or something, and suddenly 10v11, you've probably got a fairly level playing field for 80 minutes, and anything can happen. You've got a dream, haven't you? You've got to go. You've got to dream, but just enjoy the day, enjoy the experience. And history suggests it's a once in a lifetime.
It's probably one of the worst possible draws, because Brighton have Brighton got a history in the cup? I don't think they do. So
they made the semi-final that year that year that Bruce was talking about. Man City beat Brighton in the semi-final that year that they spanked Watford in the final.
So they're still sorry.
Sorry, mate. I think I read that they've been to the quarters 3 times in the last 6 years or something ridiculous. I could be wrong with that. I usually am, but I'm sure I read something like that. But they got to the final, of course, in whenever it was they played Man United, 83 or something like that.
And
Who
I think
was that? Just put that comment back, please.
Adam says, I disagree with Bruce. There would be nothing embarrassing about losing heavily to Brighton. They're 7th in the Prem. That's what Adam says.
No, I'm not saying there's anything embarrassing about losing to them heavily. I'm saying that Grimsby Town losing heavily, to go there and lose 6 or 7 wouldn't be it would ruin the day for me. It would ruin the day.
I get that.
You couldn't. I hate seeing my team taken apart, and people talk about have they ever left games early and stuff like that. I've left games early because I used to do it in the conference. I'd be sick of seeing the 15 people that come in a minibus celebrating a Hyde winner at Blundell Park or something, and I just can't. I hate watching my team put through the mill, if you like. When they get, like I say, Chelsea was it was embarrassing. And I know there's a different level, and maybe it's the old school in me that thinks of us of a higher level, but I just don't want to see my team be turned over 6 or 7 by anybody. It's just that's embarrassing, in my opinion.
And I think Brighton's probably, again, this FA Cup has thrown up the worst draw we could possibly get. I mean, I know we keep vanquishing them, but Brighton haven't been to the cup final, the semi-finals that often, so it's not something they'll take for granted. They're going to be bang up for this as an opportunity to get their first chance of an FA Cup final, whatever it may be. It's a long trip to Town, so Town are a little bit exhausted on it. It's just they're in the best form you possibly could wish for a team. So I hope just go out there, do us justice. You should be proud of what we've achieved so far. It is a little bit nice as well, Bruce. I don't know about you, but some of the Lincoln fans, like FA Cup quarterfinals, and just sort of without any sort of pomp or pomp and circumstance, we've just kind of slid in and done exactly the same just to wipe off any smirks they've had in the past. They've only got now. Stacey West, all he's got is we've won the 5th tier of English football. So, bully for you.
Woo.
Woo. Woo.
Yeah, it's a brilliant achievement for us to get there. One of only 6, I think, now that since I know Lincoln did it. Lincoln ruined that statistic because they did it from the conference. But yeah, 5 teams from the 4th division, or the 4th tier, have ever done it, and the last one was besides Lincoln was Cambridge in 1990. So it doesn't happen very often. So we should be really proud of what the lads have done. And that night in Southampton will go down as, regardless of the changes that they made. I can't remember being at a Town game in recent times where the atmosphere was like that. That atmosphere was just unreal from the start to finish. Excuse me, was just brilliant.
I'm hearing there might not be the drum though, which I think is a bit of a disappointment. I think that really works when there's a large following. There needs to be something to unify the fans to chant to, and if it's not in, I'm going to be a bit disappointed. And I think it'll be a bit harder for us to create the same atmosphere we did at Southampton because there isn't that unifying beat.
And I hope that the club maximise their opportunities by this. I hope that we should be sold out of Harry Haddocks. There shouldn't be any left.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Well, the way they keep popping, I've got to buy a couple.
Maisie's is still up, but where's the promotion of the Harry Haddock? Get your Harry Haddocks, and maybe they're going to start now. But I just think somebody showed a picture of the T-shirt, didn't they? The $29.99 T-shirt that they put out. You know, they should be hammering the but they should be hammering the merchandise, shouldn't they? You know, it should be with this new switched on 21st century club. You know, maybe, you know, obviously they've got league games to focus on, but I just hope that they take it for everything they can. And I mean that I don't mean take the piss out of the fans, but you know,
thanks, Ollie.
Do what they can and to make as much money as they can, because it set Lincoln up for several seasons getting to the quarterfinals.
Right, look, sorry, Sam. I know you go first, actually, mate, because I'll do something else in a sec.
But I mean, the argument we've got league games to focus on doesn't bear scrutiny, because the league season's over. We're going to finish between about 14th and 18th.
We can get to 81 points if we win every one of our games. 81.
Go on a Liverpool or Manchester City style winning streak until the end of the season, and we'll make automatic promotion.
Do the double. We're doing the double.
Yeah, someone was saying that to me on Twitter today. It's guaranteed. Yeah, but yes, you're actually right, Bruce. I had not noticed it until you mentioned it. But there's been no plugging of Harry Haggart's on social media or on the club website or anything at all. And they should be hammering it. I mean, we've got a once in a lifetime opportunity here to kind of put the club on a map, and I'll put the club on the map in a way that we've never done before certainly in my memory. And it won't come around again. I mean, a playoff promotion final gives you so much coverage, but nothing compared to an FA Cup quarter final. I mean, as I said, it doesn't happen to anybody in this tier. Every 30 years, it happens to somebody in this tier, let alone us. So, look, we have to really seize it for what it is. I mean, I was working out if we won the other day, it'd be worth £3 million to the club if we beat Brighton, because of the 45% of Wembley Gate receipts and the guaranteed. You get 500 grand or something for losing the semi-final, even plus whatever it is. So it's transformative, this, and it needs to be integrated as such. Do you think it's wise, by the way, to come out and say all this money is going on the playing budget next year? Because that's just immediately giving people a stick to beat Hurst with if we don't start next season with 6 consecutive wins.
No, I think the only problem would be that it gives other clubs an idea of exactly how much money we have to play about with. If Hurst could at least go to them and say, look, I didn't get all of that. It's gone on infrastructure. Look, we're looking at building a new training ground. I don't have that money. I think that's the only point. Hursty would be under pressure next season regardless, because there would be at least some amount of that money goes into the team. And I think the percentage of how much it is maybe irrelevant, but I know it isn't, but you know what I mean. So I just wanted to go through the so-called great Lincoln City run to the quarterfinals. I don't know if anyone knows the teams they actually beat.
I know 3 of them. I know 3 of them, but I can't work out who they beat in the early rounds.
Guiseley, they drew with Guiseley in the quarter qualifying round, 4th round. Then they beat him in a replay. Then they beat the mighty Altrincham, the mighty Oldham, the mighty Ipswich. And then Brighton, they beat them 3-1 as well, apparently.
And then they beat Burnley.
And then they beat Burnley.
Didn't Waterfall score the winner at Burnley?
I think he did. I believe he did. So
he definitely scored for Arsenal in the quarterfinals. I can remember it.
We were in an away game, weren't we, in London? I think it might have been Orient when they played Arsenal. They
were, yeah. We wanted to go. Well, I was tempted to go down and laugh at them, but I thought that'd be me.
We were we were in a bar in the Westfield. Is it the Westfield Shopping Centre at Stratford?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in a bar in there somewhere. I just remember. I don't know why. I just remember watching Lincoln get. What did they lose? 5-0.
5-0. It was 1-0 for quite a long time, and then they just capitulated. They just got worn out, and it was bulldozed in the last. That's what I'm worried about happening on. That's what I'm worried will happen on Sunday. Is that the day we won 3-0 at Orient when they went down?
Yeah, it was a good game.
Did Scott Vernon score that afternoon?
2017. There's a good goal from the Disley Dink.
Yeah, but I remember I think Sam Jones scored that afternoon as well.
It was the anniversary yesterday or the day before. We shared it. It was it's a good day, a real lively day. But it's a real good, one of the best away days since we got promoted before we got relegated again.
Mike, we lost in the Links Cup. What's going on? We lost that already. We can't do the treble this year, mate. We'll have to do it next season.
Did we
We'll do
announce
quadruple because we're Europa League.
Did we announce that we'd lost? I didn't even know we'd played. We played the under-21s, didn't we? Or the youth team?
Yeah, it was the same day we played another game. Didn't we actually play the Southampton game the same day, or the Luton replay or something?
We lost to, was it Grantham or somebody?
Yeah, Grantham away.
But
yeah, I think it was the same day that we played Luton in the FA Cup. What's the team that's going to be at Sutton? Andrew, I hope we do. I'm not joking. I want a San Marino v Scotland style performance where Scotland just turn up, kick the ball, and that's it. Sutton get the 3 points, and we haven't even bothered to travel. But I imagine you'll see the likes of George Lloyd. I'd play as many of the youngsters as you want. If you think it'd be of benefit, just play.
I think Corey will start on Tuesday night, for example. I bet Andy Smith starts on Tuesday night. I expect Danny Amos will play. Bryn Morris might play. Might start Ryan Taylor. But I don't think he'll start Emmanuel, for example. I don't think he'll start Kieran Green or McAtee.
Or Fete.
Or I don't know. I think you want to pick me shit.
Too much.
He's played as much as anybody bar Crocombe, and which is amazing given his he struggled with injuries quite a lot last season. I mean, who do you play at right back then? I mean, would you pick Harry Clifton on? I mean, our reserves are actually quite strong relative to it. I mean, if
Tackleberry's right. If Scannell doesn't play on Tuesday night, I would be completely perplexed as to why he's even here.
Yeah, why did we extend his contract? If you know, like you say, surely he's good enough for 20 minutes. I mean, anybody can go on and run around for 20 minutes. Don't matter how fit they are. And he's not kicked a ball.
I thought this was weird as well. I think we discussed it in our pod that Cropper's gone to Barnet. I'd have waited a week. I think he should have played on Tuesday.
What if it's a marginal game on Sunday? I mean, what if it's a marginal game? I mean,
what if it is though? You've got that opportunity, haven't you?
Imagine if we get a long throw and it's 0-0 in the 93rd minute, throws in Waterfall's head, ecstasy in the away end. It's not an inconceivable scenario.
Because Mayers, however much he tries, they're not the same thing.
No, but don't you think though? We've done absolutely nothing from Mars' long throws, absolutely nothing. But we do it every time we get anywhere near their penalty area, and I don't think we did that with Cropper every time. And he's got a much better throw.
No, we didn't.
We stick with Mar throwing it long. We don't mix it up. Don't get me started.
We did. I think we scored. I think against Stockport on New Year's Day. I think we scored from a Mar throw that Waterfall flicked on. But since then it's not even threatened to score, has it? Let alone produce a chance. Maybe we've just been spoilt with Cropper. Really, I mean, he's got the most ridiculous long throw I've ever seen, not just for Grimsby Town, but for anybody ever. I mean, they hit the back post, don't they? But to be fair, at least Jordan Cropper's. Yeah, they're awful to they're almost worse to defend than corners. Apparently, at long throws like that, especially if they're coming from the right angle.
Kyle's right as well. Cropper's throws are just exciting. You just think there's going to be something to happen. A Cropper throw is actually I would say a Cropper throw is more exciting than the Newport game. And we scored a pretty decent goal in that.
I mean, I thought it was quite, if we were there at Brighton on Saturday and Cropper was on Sunday and Cropper was playing. And of course, Brighton will never have heard of him or never have seen it before. And we'd all be rubbing our hands together going, 30,000 people have no idea what's coming, but we do. It's
in an artillery bombardment. My God,
just no idea what they're about to see.
I don't understand. Yeah,
just us and Paul Mullin that know what's coming.
Yeah, and Andrew Dallas, considering his very helpful flick on. I think we should probably start wrapping up. Well, we're going to do some bits and bobs in the week. We're going to do a preview, so when you're driving down, you can have a listen to it. I promise that I won't swear, because I know you'll have kids in the car and that's not going to be helpful for anybody. But is there anything else you want to add about the Rochdale and Newport games? There isn't much to say apart from, I don't think we've even touched on the Rochdale game, but I thought Rochdale were all right. I think they're no worse than what we were when we got relegated. They're about the same, sort of 10, 15% off being a lower mid-table team. And we were lucky to come away with a win.
But somehow we've got 4 points from 6 in the last 2 home games, despite it not being entertaining. We're up to 42 points. and we're probably safe on 42 points, to be fair.
Yeah, if we win on Tuesday night, we'll have got more points than we got in either of the relegation seasons, which just shows how bad you do have to be to get relegated from this division.
And it's 1 defeat from 7, and that was Carlisle. And that includes a Premier League team in the middle of it. 1 defeat and 7.
And Carlisle don't count.
No, you can't do that. It's like the Halifax FA Trophy final. Poor blokes were all hungover. Leave them alone.
It doesn't feel like 1 defeat in 7.
No, it doesn't. It must have drawn.
I need to come off this now. Right, you two wrap up. I'll sit quietly because I bring too much negativity.
No, it's all right. You're better than Sam earlier, who was not allowing me to dream.
I've been evicted. I've been evicted from the pod tonight for negativity. It's a new one.
I should remove my just take myself out of it every now and then as well, because I was not happy.
That didn't last long, did it?
No, I was looking forward to that, Bruce, but no.
It's like when me and Mike did transfer deadline day when he was on the piss. It was that was a good night actually. We did it on Twitter though because we don't know how to work this thing.
And also, you get more interaction with the Twitter space, don't you, than you do on this? I mean, it's good we answer people's questions, but you actually get people who speak on the Twitter thread.
Yeah, no, it is good that you can bring them on. It is good that you can bring
we'll
them on.
We'll have to do another one of those, Bruce, on Sunday evening after we've won. You and me from the pub in Brighton.
Is Andrew talking about Jack again and the links earlier? Who's going down? I think Andrew. I think Crawley and Rochdale are going down. What about you, Sam?
I agree with that. It's definitely 2 of the 3. I mean, I'd love to see Hartlepool go down just because of our record against them, but that's who I think will go down. If you want who's going up, I think it'll be Orient, Stevenage, and Carlisle automatically, and then I think Bradford will win the playoffs.
I'm a bit sad that Orient are going. I've been to Orient nearly every time we've been able to go there, but yeah, Alex, if we wrap this up, can you just hit the credits? Can you just put a message in the group and let us know whether that's possible? Sam, my eyesight's shit, so you'll have to read. What's he said?
He's got the Sutton preview.
Oh yeah, the Sutton preview's coming up. If you want to listen to that,
yeah,
we're probably
more interesting than this. They might talk about football a little bit.
And we'll catch up with you all in the week. See you later.
Behind. So that's the final action of the game, which means Grimsby Town are back in the Football League just a year after those awful scenes.
As if by magic, while everybody else has gone for a cup of tea and I have to sit here and watch the end of the podcast to make sure you're just not left with a blank screen. We're joined by Mike from the Sutton podcast, who's going to give us a rundown on apparently the game we've got on Tuesday. Mike had to remind not just the podcast, but the entire team that we have to travel down to South London this week. We are going to the one place which gets my maximum respect. A house of Alan Poughton is a welcome house here because the great man himself decided to adorn, to give you the luxury of seeing that incredible step over. But Mike, how are things going down in South London? You guys are, upsetting the proverbial apple cart, are you not?
Yeah, we are. We're as you guys know, we christened a lot of the teams down in the old national conference as belts, the bitter ex-league teams. And we seem to be... That's
definitely us.
Yeah, we seem to be making a lot of them bitter, even though they're current league teams. So it's teams like Sutton is a hashtag I think that should go around. And
ours is no disrespect to the likes of Grimsby.
Yeah,
that's our one.
Yeah, but yeah, just a pub team from Surrey, and here we are. We're sort of strangely after the start of the season we had, where we lost a lot of players. I mean, Ben Goodliff, who's been awesome all last season, he swept the boards of virtually all the player awards. 20 odd minutes into the first game of the season, he'd done his ACL or rear ACL, whatever they call it, and he was out for months and months and months. And our injury run started there. We lost another centre back. We got in Aaron Pierre to kind of provide cover. He got fit, came on for 20 minutes and managed to injure himself. We just had literal injury after injury after injury, and we went for a really bad spell clinging on for points here and there, scrapping for everything. And then the players started coming back late December, early January. And to be fair, since beginning of December, we've been on a great run. I think we're top of some of the form tables. It depends on which one you want to use. But I've never knew they used to go back. They go to 10 games now or 12 games and stuff like that. Like, no, it's 6 games is the form table. What do you want?
They go to whatever suits your narrative best.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we're doing all right. I think we're only 2 points outside the playoffs. If we'd won yesterday, we would have been in the playoff spots. But we were playing Barrow at theirs, so we were never going to win anyway. So it's all conjecture.
And I guess what was the sort of the hopes and aspirations for the start of the season? Really, is this where you expected to be, or was it just because I don't know. Again, no disrespect to the likes of Sutton, I don't know where your aspirations lie. Harrogate, to me, Harrogate are quite happy to be in this league. Where they are. You, on the other hand, have probably got a little bit more wealth of talent on your doorstep that you could potentially flutter your eyelashes at.
Well, no,
or is that death by 1,000 loanees?
Yeah, we've got a lot of other clubs around. So obviously we've got Wimbledon just up the road, Palace not far away, all the loads and loads of big clubs in London. So any sort of reasonably talented player is going to be sort of somewhere else. But we are showing there's a pathway. So the academy is doing really, really well. They've just been upgraded again. I pretended to understood what it means, but I've managed to persuade a few of them to come on and explain it to everyone else, so I get away with it again. But yeah, it's a hard one. You speak to any Sutton fan, we've done a few of the BBCs do like the Sutton Hour, and they feature a different London club every now and then, and it's just bizarre when you listen to it because you can almost take out the fan halfway through the interview and replace with another fan, and the story is exactly the same. It's 50 points. Let's get to 50 points and then we'll talk to you afterwards. Survival is all we're after. But yeah, we always have a little bit of hope. And we are, despite how bad we were, well, not bad, there was reasons for it. Despite the results at the beginning of the season, we're actually only 2 points off where we were this stage last season. So we're doing all right and we're quite happy. But yeah, I think we need a couple of years realistically at this level just to get things sorted with what we've got to pay for off the pitch stuff as well, and then we can start properly investing into on the pitch. But the players do brilliantly.
And I guess the question is then, you're talking about that in competitions, because I would look at it. I spoke to some of the Wimbledon guys about it. Goes, well, you guys would be far easier to persuade a guy on Division 4 wages to come to Grimsby where a mortgage is 450 quid a month, rather than rent of 1,500 for a 2-bed flat. But at the same time, you do have Palace on your doorstep. That Croydon triangle where every England player comes from is not too far away. You've got those Championship clubs and Premier League clubs that are, academies that are looking to get their guys game time. Is that a strength? And at the same time, you look at those league clubs being a problem. If you're then looking at what did QPR call it, like boutique football at one point, didn't they? That's I guess the standout version of boutique football around your way would have been Dulwich Hamlet as well. So do you miss out on that side of things in terms of people looking for not just a Premier League team and elsewhere? Or am I just...
Yeah, I guess because we've never really moved in these circles. So we've never really made the connections and contacts where perhaps we needed to. So I'm sure they're happening. I mean, we've got a fairly good healthy relationship with Millwall. But
says the only club ever.
Yeah. I think it's only because Matt used to work for him. So
okay.
We also have Terry Bullivant as a director of football, and he's got contacts like literally everywhere. I mean, Matt Gray, the manager's like, it's funny, I can almost make up a random name, and Terry will be like, no, he does play for this team, and it'll be at step 12 or something. And you're like, how do you know this? But yeah, we've got contacts, but yeah, I think we're still kind of at the stage of we're not overly sure about the whole loan situation, because why do we want someone to come in, develop them for a bit, and then send them off on their way? We'd rather have a little bit of money for doing that. Thank you very much. But I'm sure we'll learn and we'll pick it up. But it's only our ever second season at this level. So there's a lot for us to learn and work out what to do. But yeah, to answer your original question, we're relatively happy just staying here, to be honest with you.
I guess this is the first time Grimsby Town have ever played Sutton at your place.
Is it?
Yeah. Apparently, it was our first game ever against you when we drew after
So you've never beaten us, is what I'm hearing.
never beaten,
No.
never lost to you either. But I think we
Doesn't
can
suit my narrative.
we can all safely assume that you might beat us because we are distracted by shiny things. What in terms of getting there, for those of us that are stupid enough to be going, because they've got too much money, too much time on their hands, and apparently their wife is absolutely fine for them to miss Mother's Day and also midweek. What are you? Where can people go? Where's the best place to park if there is parking? And sort of what are the sort of hacks for coming to watch Sutton?
Parking is a pain in the backside because we're a very residential area. So there's parking in sort of the town centre, and then it's not that far a walk. I mean, I suppose different people have got different opinion on that, but it's not really that far. It's about 15-20 minutes down to the town centre. There's also a huge like Tesco's if you want to risk it, or like the this big like industrial centre with the DIY places and stuff that people could park in. But essentially, yeah, if you sort of park on street parking, do just check the restrictions. I think by the evening kickoffs we're usually all right if you can find a space, but you'll find that a lot of people park their cars on the roads quite badly, so that you can fit only 2 cars in where 3 cars should fit, because I don't want people parking in the streets. But if you go to like the outer streets, it normally gets a bit better. But if you're coming on train, obviously you get to Sutton. It's lots and lots of places to have a cup of tea in the high street if that's your thing. And there will be the fan zone open, I'm sure. I haven't got any details actually, that's really bad. But the fan zone, which once you're in, you'll be able to get a drink and something to eat sort of behind the stand at our place as well. But yeah, you'll be using the Collingwood side, which is the one that's in the park. So if anyone wants to park, I'd park on that side of the ground, not the other one. Otherwise, you just got to walk through the park anyway.
I mean, that sounds great. I mean, I'll be honest, it does. Here's the disrespect thing. It sounds like every away game in non-league is that we go to a nondescript part of the suburb of London, can't find anywhere to park, lose 2-0, have no roof, and then leave. I'm looking at you, Bromley.
You've got a roof. You've got a roof. You've actually got the best stand. Because
that's mean. What's going on there?
Well, we obviously when we came up, we had to do things quickly, and the only place that had the room for all the improvements was the bit that kind of is down the far end. So we made all the improvements very, very, very quickly. And obviously the league regs are we have to give a certain amount to the away fans, and without being overly mercenary, it's you guys going to come and put money and spend money at our place. So it's like, yeah, have a lovely seat, have a lovely ground. But yeah, there has been a few sort of envious glances over to it going, why have they got a pretty stand? I'm sitting in my little rotten spot that I've stood in for 30 odd years going, no, it's fine, let them have it. As long as my bit doesn't change, I don't care. But you know, it's a nice stand. So you've got a roof. I can't promise what the weather's going to be like.
Well, as long as I don't have, Andy Woodman dancing up and down in front of me like he's just discovered the all-you-can-eat is open, I'm quite happy. In terms of how Sutton are doing, obviously you're well on your way to, I assume, your best ever league finish in the club's history. Is that right?
Last year we finished 8th.
Okay. So you've got to get the playoff.
Well, we were 1 point away from the playoffs, and apparently the 76 points we finished on was the highest not to get into the playoffs since they started, someone was saying. So yeah, if we could match the points, we could probably definitely be in the playoffs. But even if we don't get 7th, Matt Gray in the last 3 years has delivered the top 3 finishes in our history: 1st in the National League, 7th in the League 2, and whatever we finish here will be in there as well. So we as many as people say this division shit, we're living our best life. This is great for us.
In terms of, has it sort of changed the outlook of the club? Because it's been quite a meteoric rise for you. For me, in my head, you guys are at, they've been a mainstay in the Conference South and Conference sort of. And so how have fans adjusted to this sort of League Cup, extra coverage, extra money? Has it changed some people, brought new people in, or is it a bit of both?
Yeah, huge amount of new people in. Boring history lesson now. It did start about 12 years ago. We were relegated to the Ryman League, which is below the Conference South. No, we weren't. It was more than that. But that's the year we got promoted from the Ryman League. And then we spent 5 years in the Conference South, then 5 years in the National League, and then now here. So all the new fans who've only been supporting us for 12 years or so keep saying to them, it's not always like this. It's not always like this. These young kids are looking at us going, what are you on about? This is great. But yeah, it's brought a lot of fans. I did look it up. I think 10 years ago, our average gate was about 800, and now we're over 3,000. So obviously it's had some changes. It's remarkable how quickly you get used to it, because we often stand on a little bit of the terrace, look around and go, we reckon it's about 2.5 today, and it's 3,500. You're like, yeah, years gone by, I would have looked at this thinking, God, we're packed in here. But now we're like, oh, it's not so bad. But yeah, it is a bit different. There's certain things, obviously, because we're a traditional non-league club. Lots of people on first name terms with the chairman, vice chairman, see them in the bar, say hello to them to talk to. And there is just beginning to get that little bit of distance, because obviously they don't know everyone anymore, because they can't possibly know 3,000 people. And they're starting to get things like generic email addresses to send to the club, whereas obviously before we were always go, oh, I know, we'll sort it out. We'll send it to Tim. And it's like, yeah, obviously if you still got it, they're not going to ignore your emails, but now all the emails that are advertised are more sort of generic things, which sounds professional. It's like, oh.
Well, that's an interesting point, isn't it? Because then you look at that different change. We've got it in reverse, really. You got people of my age going, "Oh, Brighton, we should be smashing them easily." I haven't played them since we both got relegated from the Championship. And then you've got other kids there. Some of the kids on last week were absolutely in like their eyes. They've just spent the last 16, 20 years down here and have not seen much of anything. So it's really interesting. But I'm getting to that point now as well where I don't feel like I'd feel nervous if we're in the top half of League Two, because it's not where we naturally are meant to be. And you're like, oh, but it's like, well, it is like when we came down last time. I go, what are we in here for? We'll be out of here in a week. Yeah, sort of 15 years later. But it's an interesting. Who you say you've got most of your team back to full strength? Who are we looking out for? If you were sort of part of the Grimsby Town's coaching staff this week, how would you tell them to get at you and to make the most of it?
I'm not being secret squirrel. It's hard to answer that question because it's a collective effort for the team. It really is. Goals come from, they've been short supply this year, but they come from all over. So David Adjeboy is obviously a standout. He was brilliant for us last year. We sold him to Peterborough, and then we've got him back on loan, and he's just coming back into form. But if you concentrate on him, we've got Will Randall on the opposite wing. We're going to go, thank you very much for all the space. Then you've got strikers they're not scoring loads of goals, but they're playing brilliant. I mean, we've just signed Lee Angle from Bradford, and he's doing something very odd for us. He's getting the ball at his feet and just shooting. And it's like, whoa. You're supposed to hold the ball up, Lee. You're supposed to pass it to someone else. You're not meant to just shoot on sight, man. Calm down. But then we've got Omar Bugil scored 2 brilliant goals against Crawley. I mean, it was against Crawley, but it was brilliant goals against Crawley. If you haven't seen the second one, have a little look on social media, because the second goal was just outrageous. And then Ali Smith in midfield, Craig Eastman always doing what Craig Eastman does. Joe Kizzy hasn't quite hit the form he was in last year, so we're kind of pointing out to him that he scored quite a few goals last year, so he needs to get in amongst it again. Rob Nilsson's been slightly injured and outside, rested on Saturday, I think, but Sam Hart, who's come in for him, played really, really well. So you just don't know. I mean, Sam was bombing forward yesterday. It wasn't the most exciting game in the world, but he had 3 or 4 good shots from distance. So, yeah, it's not me being trying to hide anything. It's just a really difficult question to answer.
Yeah, well, it sounds. Here's the optimist in me saying, it sounds like you don't have someone so stand out you can't say it. So that's the way I'm going. Instead of going,
Okay.
you're actually you're so tough to beat, you can't work out where the weaknesses are. I'll go the other way. I mean, I'll be honest, as we've said already I came on your show a minute ago or so, and just like, I mean, I would quite happily, if this game, looks like the Scotland San Marino game, you guys kick off and get awarded the 3 points. But we'll be down there. Is there anybody that our players need to look out for? Are there any sort of, hatchet men around that we need to keep McAtee away from and Harry Clifton, just in case? Running away from him like a Scooby-Doo advert?
We're angels. We're absolute angels. To be fair, we're called, I think it's changed over a few weeks, but Brutes is one of the names. Big, massive, yeah. Joe Kizzy, I think, is about 6'3", but then when you're looking on the pitch, you don't think he is because everyone else is taller than him. So yeah, we're a big physical side, and we're not ashamed to be that. But actually, in fairness, the last 2 games, or 3 games, I think, people have come to kick lumps out of us. It's like, hang on, how comes we're the ones that are the monsters?
We will not be doing that. We will be carrying favour with you. Have you got a prediction for us? What can we expect?
Well, there's 2 ways we've been looking at this. One is when we had our own cup run a few years ago, and the midweek game we had to play beforehand. So we just play Arsenal. We had a midweek game against Dover. We didn't just roll over and let our bellies be tickled. We let them smash us 6-0. So there are some hopefuls going, oh, look what happened to us. And then there's other people going, are you taking the piss? If Grimsby send their kids, we're going to get beaten. So we're Sutton United. We don't do things the easy way. We're just going to be, oh, God. I reckon we'll huff and puff a bit more than we probably should. But I think we need to win to keep our slim playoff hopes alive. Because I think, again, if we win, even though we've got games in hand, it will move us into the playoff spots. So I think that will be kind of the narrative from our players. Get out here in the first 10, 15 minutes, make you all a little bit, jump out of the way and let us go for it. Yeah, absolutely. We'll still end up with Eastie or Omar booked. But yeah, I reckon we'll huff and puff, but we'll come good in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes because we are probably one of the fittest sides in the league at the moment with the stamina and the work they put into it. So I reckon possibly 2-0, but it'll be late.
That's fine. As long as no one gets injured, you can have your 2-0. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck for the rest of the season. Good luck in the playoffs. And we shall see you maybe next season. We don't know. See you then.
Perfect. Lovely. Bye. Thank you. Good.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.